the statement from Ned Lamont yesterday after winning. Joe Lieberman has been, I was reading Harry Reid saying that he's been an effective leader, and congratulations. And Lamont said the same thing, right? But Lieberman says today, for the sake of our state, our country, and my party, I cannot and will not let that result stand. The result is over. There is no letting it stand. It stands whether you accept it or not. He got 52%. You got 48%. You're one of the most powerful Democrats in the country, which is why your loss is significant, and which is why we came after you. Like I played a role, which is why so many people came after you, and they deserve all the credit. If Joe Lieberman had been if Joe Lieberman had been Ben Nelson, who supported the president about as much, right?
You're not quite as much, because he didn't go on TV
that's what
cheerleading for the president.
But that's what I'm getting at. But just simply voting and position, essentially the same guy.
Close.
But Joe Lieberman was the vice presidential candidate. Joe Lieberman took those slots on Meet the Press and Face the Nation and CNN and Fox, of course. And Joe Lieberman became the guy who George Bush put his arm around. So it became it's incredibly significant that it was this powerful Democrat. And then for him to say, for the sake of our state, our country, our party, I cannot, will let the result stand. Remember, this is a guy who very quickly after the end of the election in 2000, which was clear to everybody who knows anything about politics or math, was really close. And Lieberman wanted to tell Al Gore, concede. Time has come for you to move on. Country needs to go forward. Again, go forward and do what? It's a point that Cenk and I discussed in Miami when we were together, when they were recounting that, when we were working down there, when they were recounting the vote. Everybody was panicking. We've got to have a decision soon. Why? We had a president until January 20th, 2001. We had a government. This wasn't Argentina. This wasn't Venezuela. The government wasn't teetering on the balance. We had a president. We had a Congress. We had a Supreme Court. We had a justice system. We had a military. Everything was fine. We should have taken as long as it frickin' takes to find out who actually won. Joe Lieberman didn't want to do that. He wanted to move on. Sam Alito, Lieberman, of course, part of the Gang of 14, and prevented, along with those other guys, an effective filibuster of Sam Alito, enabling Joe Lieberman, to his credit, voted against him. But then when it came time for the filibuster, said, and we heard the quote yesterday when discussing it with Sean Hannity, said, I think it's time to move on. Move on, and do what? This is a guy, many people, including myself, championed the stands that Joe Lieberman had taken on many important social issues, civil rights, women's rights. You just let a guy go onto the Supreme Court who was going to fight you tooth and nail every step of the way on civil rights and women's rights because it was time to move on. Here, when you actually lose, not your cause, not your party, when it's his party, when it's other people of his position, let's move on. Let's not fight. Here, you lost. You really lost. You were defeated. I cannot let it stand. I find that mind-numbingly disheartening. It makes my stomach turn. I mean, the degree to which I didn't share your guys' the way you despised Joe Lieberman, I might despise him more now for this today. I'll give him a week to get out, to let it sink in. But at some point, he has to leave. He lost. If he wants to be part of this party, you have to respect the result of the primary.
When your party had a chance to take the White House, when you were running for vice president,
right,
and you had won if they had recounted all of Florida,
right,
and you could let that stand, but you can't let this stand, because God forbid Joe Lieberman should ever lose power. And you got this sense, even back in 2000, when he wouldn't let his Connecticut seat go as he was running for vice president. Why? Joe always has to cover his ass. Because it's not about you. It's not about the Democrats in Connecticut. It's always been about Joe Lieberman.